For Johnny.
Johnny, how you feeling right now?
I'm feeling pretty good.
How hard was it to not play in that big title game?
It was pretty tough. You know, just did what I could from the sidelines, like tried to help out when I could, where I could. But it was definitely tough. But everything happens for a reason. So something beyond my control. Can't really do anything about it.
And practice has been good for you.
Yeah, practice been going well.
Can you talk about Max Duggan and his leadership and sort of your personal relationship, maybe?
Yeah, Max, his leadership goes just beyond the football field. He's just such a great guy and such a fun person to be around, and just really humble and down to earth. And obviously, when he plays, like the team kind of rallies behind him, just how hard he plays, and we just try to match that energy. Because if you can play as hard as him, you're going to be playing real hard. But just off the field, like I know a couple days ago, my background comes from a military academy. Some people have reached out to me on deployment, and they're asking for like something for Max, like you guys got this, one of those, and he sent me a real nice video. I sent it off to them. I mean, he's just down to earth guy, awesome guy.
In terms of, you're one of the transfers who came in and have contributed a bit more than a few of those guys. What's the key as a transfer coming into a new program and being able to fit in?
Well, I think the transfers last year, we were a little fortunate coming in with a new staff, so no one really knew what to expect. But I think a bunch of transfers just came in, put our head down and got to work, played hard every day, and made people that were here realize, like, okay, they're going to compete. If I don't match their level of intensity, then I'm not going to make it. So I think we just kind of brought energy and a competitive nature to the team that may have been lacking. I don't know. I wasn't here in the past. But I think that's mostly what I did. I just tried to come in, keep my head down, go to work, and I think it just leading by example helped. I think a lot of transfers were followed the same path.
I know you talked about before, talk about your path to TCU, because when you first went in the portal, if my memory serves me right, there wasn't a whole lot of interest from FBS schools. Could you just walk us through that one more time?
Yeah, so I entered the portal last year before Thanksgiving, and I just started reaching out to like a bunch of schools. Didn't hear back from anyone. I heard back from Northwestern, but that was kind of like my high school coach. I think they were recruiting a kid at my high school, so I think they were just kind of trying to be nice. I heard from them for a little bit, and then it just kind of fell off. And then I was actually looking at it like a couple days ago, just seeing how far I've come. I was reaching out to schools like Villanova and William and Mary, Delaware, and schools like that wouldn't even like respond. So I after a while, I just told my dad that I was sorry, I'm getting choked up. I just told my dad I was probably done playing football, and he just would log into my email and pretend to be me, and just, yeah, I got this. It just meant a lot, but that was because of him.
Well, when did you hear from Coach Stikes and TCU? When did they come into the picture?
They came into the picture around this time a year ago, I think I committed right around Christmas. So if it weren't for my dad, I wouldn't be here, but he kept emailing the schools, and then they came into the picture, and this was about a year ago when they came in.
Does your dad do a good impression of you?
He did a good job. Yep.
What's it gonna mean to have him in the stands for such a big moment?
I mean, it's gonna mean a lot. I mean, he's always come to all my games, and just him believing in me almost more than I believed in myself at a time. It's just, I owe him the world. Like, go out there, be the best I can be for our family name. I live up to his presence and what he's done for me my whole life. So it's going to mean a lot.
So after all the denials, how good does it feel to be part of this team, playing in playoffs, your Big 12 Defensive Newcomer of the Year? You proved a lot of people wrong.
I mean, it feels good, but it's just another game. I get real emotional before every game, so I'll be real emotional before this game, but it's just another game. Just going to go out there and kind of get your first couple hits, be ready to go. But just proving the people wrong feels good. But at the end of the day, I mean, there's always going to be people giving you more chips and more reason and more want to, all that. So, but at the end of the day, just another game for me.
What was your feeling being named the Conference Newcomer of the Year on defense, though?
Cool. I was like that, but I didn't really care. I'm not going. I don't really care about that stuff. I was just happy to be here. Happy Gillespie brought me in. That stuff.
When did you realize that, hey, I really made the right choice here?
The second I was like sitting in a chair over there, and they had a team meeting, and Coach Kyles was talking to people, saying some choice words to people. Coach Dykes came in here, and I I was just so happy to be out of the environment I was in and somewhere where football meant a big deal to the coaches and to the players. And I was just, that second I knew I made the right choice, and it was the only choice I was going to make no matter what. But that's what I do. It's going to be fun.
Now that you guys have had a couple of weeks to look at Michigan and actually watch some film, what have you seen from the Wolfpack on offense?
You know, I've seen a lot. They're a very, very talented team. Great offensive line, great running back. I mean, unfortunately, Blake, he's a Maryland guy. He got hurt. Don't wish that on anyone, but the people filling in are really good. They're getting healthy. But the most impressive thing I think I've seen is by their quarterback, just the way he can run. I mean, he can really run and scramble and throw on the run, and I think that's an underrated part of their offense because everyone's just so worried about their offense line, how they run the ball. They that tight ends that can catch, they got receivers that can catch, they got a quarterback who can really run and pass. So I think that's been the most impressive part for me watching, and going to have to contain a lot of stuff. They're good.
Do you see any similarities in what they do compared to anyone y'all have played this year?
Of course. I mean, they're a run first team. We played a couple of those. Texas was run first. Kansas State was run first. Really want to establish the run. And then they just got a really athletic quarterback. I mean, he's probably just as athletic as, I'd have said, Kansas or Oklahoma State's quarterback. That athleticism level, but he can really throw the ball like a Kansas State or like a Quinn potentially once he gets more comfortable playing college football. But he can throw it probably better than the more athletic quarterbacks we've seen. So he's going to be a good package too because he's kind of young. I think this is his first year starting, so he's going to be really, really good in the future. And as the years gone on, he's just gotten exponentially better.
So based on your dad doing that, how surprised then were you to hear from TCU?
I was shocked. I just finished up exams. I was at my buddy's house, and Coach Gillespie called me, and he's like, "Hey, you've been emailing me, blah blah blah," and I was like, "Oh, God, there's no way." He's like, "I'm the defensive coordinator at TCU," and I hadn't even reached out to TCU because I didn't know who their coaches were, and then I'd kind of given up, and my dad had kept doing it for me, and he found out their coaches and reached out to Gillespie and Dykes. Their email was online somewhere, and when Gillespie called me, I was like, "There's no way." I was just, an out-of-body experience.
Johnny, was it an immediate yes when you heard from Coach Gillespie, or did you take a trip here and made a decision once you got to Fort Worth?
I mean, I had to pretend like there was other stuff going on, but I told him let me just see talk to my family about it, pray on it. And he was like, "I'm sure you have looks from other schools and you got to make a decision." I was like, yeah. Cards. But I basically hung up the phone. Me and my buddy went and just celebrated, had a really good time. Then the next day I called him back and I was like, "Yeah, I'm coming." So there was no thought. As soon as he called, I knew I was coming before it got taken away or someone else committed.
Had you been to Fort Worth prior to coming here?
I'd never been to Texas. I was born and raised in Maryland, and I only left Maryland probably a handful of times in my life. I went to New York a couple times for lacrosse tournaments. I had family in North Carolina. I only left Maryland a couple times, so yeah, I've never been to Fort Worth.
With the new coaching staff, when did you see the buy-in, not just from you obviously, but just from the entire team, the veterans, the transfers, everybody else? Was there a key moment, or talk about that process?
Well, I wouldn't say there was a key moment, but you could just see people buying in more and more. So we're starting our spring workouts, and it was tough. People changing the culture, getting people to work out early in the morning, do tough workouts, do things that most people don't want to do. And then I started seeing more and more people showing up on time, doing little things right, like jogging around, bringing their water bottles everywhere, wearing TCU gear around campus, being proud. That's when I was like, all right, these kids, I think they want to accomplish something. And then we started spring ball, and it was just real competitive. And it'd be one day, a receiver would make a really good play, and then the next day, a defensive end would make a good play. So then you get individual buy-in. And then once fall camp came around and we saw who was going to be playing where, a lot more people bought in because you get more chances to play in fall camp. You have to get special teams ready, get people on the bus. And then I think once we were beating up on Oklahoma, that was probably the biggest tell-all. I was like, all right, we know we can do something special, something good, be a good football team. We've been a pretty good football team to this point.
We'll go two more questions.